And then you ever had trouble getting your kids to sleep? It can be one of the most frustrating challenges facing parents. We'll look at some ways to make it much easier next. Okay, sleepless kids, right? It's a huge problem for so many families.
Plenty of experts tell parents, hey, just turn out the lights. The kid will fall asleep, right? Eventually, oftentimes, there's a lot of agony that goes with that. Kids who sleep less than they should don't perform as well as they could in school. They have more problems with their health and their fitness levels.
Well, here are some tips to help your kids get the sleep they need is Katherine Eskovitz, author of When It's Time for Bed, I Have a Plan. So, welcome.
Thank you.
And we have the book here. What is the plan?
Okay, well, the most important thing is that you have to empower your children to be part of creating a bedtime plan.
Okay.
Because we now know that it's not just a matter of getting an adequate amount of sleep each night, which is very, very important, but consistency is key. So it's so much fun on the weekends. I do it too. Stay up, read Harry Potter, watch a movie with your kids, but these inconsistent bedtimes are creating issues for children, and it's basically giving them the equivalent of jet lag.
So at what age do we tackle this? Is when they start to see a problem?
Start early as possible. Even as young as 3, kids' brains are about to be ready to start learning how to develop plans. They can tackle this issue together with you. Obviously, you're going to give them more help.
Okay.
So when in the earliest ages, what you're going to do is talk to them about the importance of sleep. That's the most important thing that you start with. Is kids want to be problem solvers. They want to help in solving the problem. So you want to tell them, when you sleep, you are actually getting smarter. Your fingernails grow, your hair, your muscles, everything gets stronger when you sleep. And then they understand. And in fact, scientists have told us that, there we go, we need to talk about sleep. So scientists have told us it's not just a matter of getting sleep, but we have to go to bed at the same time every night because we need this amount of hours of sleep. And now we're not in a battle, right? We are problem solvers together.
So we're talking about sleep, journaling. You suggest they write out some things, bedtime chat with a parent, and then dim the lights, play a game, and then at a certain point, though, are we saying, okay, now it's lights out, time to go to bed, and how do you get to that point?
Absolutely. So let's go through those points. So we know bedtime's at a certain time because that's what the scientists tell us. We're not the bad guys. We all agree this is how much sleep we need.
Okay.
So you pick the bedtime, and then the half hour before that, however long you want your bedtime routine to be, here's a few choices, and kids decide what they're going to do. Journaling is terrific, and all the studies show us that whether you are a pre-reader and you can draw at 3 years old, or you can writing about your daily experiences makes implicit memories explicit. It helps you make sense of your experiences. We've all had that experience where we sit in bed at night and our mind is racing with a million things. Children too, and they need to learn young to write down in a journal before bedtime.
Okay, so bedtime chat, I'm looking at your book here, and it says, my bedtime plan. 7 o'clock, I start bedtime routine. I write in my journal, we read together, I close my eyes. So the child knows what the game plan is each and every night.
They're going to decide it and write it down with you. And then they have a sense of control, they have a sense of ownership, and they're problem solvers with you. They can look at it and say, oh, wait, this is time for moving on. It's time for lights out.
This is like in a perfect world. When the parents have time to do this, you only have one kid. Both parents are home. You're not working. You're not answering emails. You're not on your cell phone. You're not watching House of Cards on Netflix.
I hear you.
So you have to make a commitment to do this.
You know what? This is like any other skill in life. When you want to teach your kids a lifetime skill, you have to practice. But if you practice this consistently, not even that many times, but a few times, you would not believe how effective it is with children. And then they're going to gain skills for life. They're going to be able to overcome fears, relax their body, soothe their mind, and set a goal and achieve it. This is so important for teaching kids these lifelong skills.
Katherine, I do love the whys, because my little niece pulls all kind of stunts as to why she shouldn't go to bed, but I love this. With practice, my body and brain grow stronger and learn new things. Who doesn't want that?
Exactly.
All right.
Other than journaling, then you move on. You can do a good night chat, an audio talk on your phone that kids can listen to, 3 minutes, where they learn breathing techniques and they learn how to relax their body and be intentional. And so once they learn this, when my daughter was younger, she was really scared from a ride she went on. She recorded her own good night talk on my iPhone because she was having nightmares and she couldn't go to bed. And for 6 months, she listened to this 30-second talk of her own on my iPhone, and it helped her go to bed. So kids can make their own goodnight talk.
So this works for all kids?
It works for all ages with different levels of complexity as you get older. And then in addition to goodnight chats, another way to process the day, dim the lights. You need to dim the lights because you want your brain to understand it's bedtime and not suppress melatonin, which it does with these electronic devices. So dim the lights, play some quiet family games together. We play 2 truths and a fake. Everyone go around, say 2 things you really did that day, one thing you didn't do that day and you try to guess what's the fake thing. You're going to learn really interesting little tidbits about your kids, maybe what they did or did not eat for lunch that day.
I love your background. Not only are you a parent of 3, but you're a former federal prosecutor. And you kind of say you take the skills from the courtroom and apply it to this parenting?
Yeah, I was telling you guys, because a lot of people say to me, well, how'd you make that change?
Right.
But, when you're a prosecutor, and I was a trial lawyer for many years, you're meeting with world-renowned experts and learning very, very complex subjects, and then you need to understand it and master it so you can synthesize it and explain it to your audience, which is a jury, so then they can make decisions. This is the exact same thing. So I'm meeting with experts all over the world, learning about the brain science on all different subjects, whether it's sleep or nutrition or divorce or processing the death of a loved one, and then you basically synthesize all of that information and research into a very, very simple story for children, empowering them to make a plan to process the situation.
I'd like to see you write a book for adults.
Yeah, well, you can.
Some of these things
when you
probably
read
apply,
this,
right?
Jill, if you
TV
read this one to your
right?
child, you will actually. It's a script for adults as well. It's an expert script, but you will learn tips. You're going to sleep better if you try this.
Dim the lights. You heard it here. I love the back of the book here, too. So it says, here's my plan. So with your child, they have the book, they can write out their plan, each individual. Skylar, talking to you, my little niece who fights me every time.
Yeah, I think your niece would love it because they actually are part of creating the solution and they want to be problem solvers. They don't want to be in a battle with you. They don't want to be, we've all had the democracy gridlock at night where you're like, 5 more minutes, I want a hug. No, let's make a plan together and here's the plan. And it does take practice, like you said, but this really has long-term, very positive impact for kids.
Interesting.
All right. I think I'm going to sleep well tonight because I'm going to apply some of this from myself.
You should take the book home and you can try it.
Well, thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
The plan. Okay, thanks.
All right, a lot of people got a little bit upset by today's earthquake.